Happening now, a Panama man is facing charges following an Amish buggy rollover crash yesterday, what we know. Plus, the latest on the effort to reopen schools this fall.
Well, it's feeling tropical out there today. We've got some scattered showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon, but some relief is on the way. How much? I've got the details next. The news at noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now as we start a brand new week. I'm Justin Gould. An 18-year-old Amish man is facing charges after allegedly operating his horse-drawn buggy while intoxicated during a crash yesterday. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office says Adam Byler of Panama was observed operating his buggy recklessly on Goshen Road in the town of Harmony just after 1 a.m. They say the buggy went through a stop sign at the corner of Goshen and Rock Hills Road. Deputies report that Byler attempted to turn onto Rock Hill at an excessive speed and rolled the buggy onto its side. Passengers in the buggy, including a juvenile, were ejected onto the roadway and the horse suffered injuries. Now, deputies report Byler was taken into custody after processing and was released with an appearance ticket. No passengers were seriously injured in the crash. 2 new cases of COVID-19 were reported yesterday in Chautauqua County. Here's a peek at the updated COVID-19 case map. The 2 new cases include a woman in her 50s and a man in his 60s. Department of Health officials say there are now 11 active cases that continue to recover in quarantine. 1 person remains hospitalized with COVID-19 locally. Additionally, 204 cases are under quarantine or isolation orders by the public health director and are being monitored. Officials say not all of those being monitored are confirmed to have COVID, but have either shown symptoms, are awaiting test results, or have some sort of risk factor. Furthermore, 701 people are under domestic traveler quarantine, 4 having arrived in the county from a state listed on New York's travel advisory list. Now, late last week, the 9th COVID-19 death was reported locally involving a man in his 70s. And according to Johns Hopkins University, the number of known coronavirus cases continue to rise nationwide, while some leaders say another round of stay-at-home orders might be necessary in certain places. Senate Republicans are ready to unveil a plan to help the struggling economy. Our John Lawrence explains more from Washington.
It's the start of a new week with an ongoing concern, the COVID-19 pandemic.
We're on the very steep end of an exponential curve where rates of transmission, rates of new cases, of hospitalizations and deaths are shooting up in many parts of the country.
More than 4.2 million Americans have been infected with the virus, according to Johns Hopkins University, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention published a forecast that predicts up to 160,000 U.S. deaths by mid-August.
You're going to keep seeing this resurge one place after another if we don't have a concerted national approach to this.
As work on a vaccine continues, Republicans in the Senate are working with the White House on a new economic stimulus proposal.
We're talking about employment benefits and so forth. Don't forget, there's a $1,200 check coming. That is going to be part of the new package.
White House officials say the $1 trillion recommendation includes $1,200 checks for many Americans.
And we want to make sure something gets passed quickly so that we deal with the unemployment and all the other issues, paycheck protection plan, tax credits to rehire people, and money for schools.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. The plan would extend the federal moratorium on evictions, but not the full $600 weekly boost to unemployment benefits. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has criticized Republicans for taking so long to create a plan. Well, plans to reopen schools in New York State will likely be finalized this week. Governor Andrew Cuomo previously directed school districts to create a reopening plan. Many districts locally have reached out to parents to get their input on whether schools should reopen in person. Jamestown Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Kevin Whitaker says there are several scenarios part of his plan, including preparing for a second wave of COVID infections.
Governor Cuomo announced some metrics that schools, or I should say regions, the state regions should use. And it's, in one case, it's a 14-day average. In another case, it's a 5-day average, depending on the date. So we have to keep our eye on those metrics. And because there is a metric, should the region go over or kind of hit that trigger point, we need to be prepared to resume distance learning all over again.
Whitaker says once a plan is finalized at the end of the month, the school will release details to the public. The governor says in the first week of August, state leaders will decide if it's safe for schools to return to session. Now, last week, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released new guidelines for educators. Those recommend keeping students in pods and having teachers stay with that same group of children. They also advise keeping broader recommendations such as social distancing, face masks wearing, and hand washing. Now, when asked how the CDC guidelines could influence New York's decision, the governor says it all depends on whether the virus is under control. Well, we thank everyone so much for starting a new week here with us on WNY News Now. Let's check in with the comments and see how Helen's doing. Sean, good day to you. Good day to Laura, David, Pam, Linda, Howard. Thanks so much for joining us today. Good to see Joseph, Renee, Shannon, Tammy, Sean, and Dave as well. Hopefully everyone is having a great day and had a good weekend. Speaking of that weekend, it was a pretty nice one out there weather-wise. Let's get a check of what's to come with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. Happy Monday, Dakota.
Happy Monday, Justin, and happy Monday to you. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. This is the last week of July. This is it. Then we go right into August. This year is flying by, even though it doesn't feel like it. Here's a live look coming from the Warren City Bank in downtown Warren. Few clouds dotting the sky, 83 degrees right now. But look at this dew point, up to 72. That's the factor today, so almost near tropical humidity in the air today. First Defense Doppler shows you nothing across the southern tier, just a little thunder shower up here that is moving across Niagara County. That'll be going into Orleans County, but nothing across the southern tier or northwestern Pennsylvania. Now, the Storm Prediction Center does have a low-end marginal risk, a level 1 out of 5 for the far western portion, basically of the southern tier going into northwestern Pennsylvania. This is for this afternoon. And again, I'm not overly impressed with the overall setup for today, but a couple storms could contain tropical downpours and some gusty winds. 80 here in town right now, 80 in Randolph, 79 Mayville, 81 in Fredonia, 86 over in Erie. But when you factor in the humidity, it feels a whole lot hotter than this. Here are the current dew point numbers. And again, dew point measures the moisture content in the atmosphere. The higher these numbers are to the air temperature, the more humid it is. 72 is the current dew point here in town, 74 in Fredonia, 73 Clymer. So when you get up into the 70s, that's an oppressive. It's the air you can wear. It's the oppressive level. It's basically feeling like Florida out there today with the near tropical humidity. 82 was the high yesterday. 67 is only where we bottomed out this morning. 97 and 40 are the record highs and lows for this day set at the airport. So basically through the afternoon, very warm and near tropical humidity today. Scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms essentially will be popping up essentially through the afternoon. Not everyone will see a storm. And again, where you do, some of them could be gusty with very heavy rain. 82 at the water, 88 well inland. Some spots may actually reach 90. Actually, Erie close to it now with a southwest wind 12 to 25. Some wind gusts 30 to 35. So at least there'll be a nice breeze. But we do back it down later in the week. How much? We'll talk about it in a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you. Well, we've all seen the notices on restaurant doors, temporarily closed due to COVID-19. Well, now it looks like a lot of those places are gone for good. A new economic report from Yelp says that 60% of restaurants that temporarily shut down because of the pandemic have since closed permanently. Many small businesses have tried to adapt with online ordering and curbside pickup, but the report says it was not enough to pay the bills. Yelp says as of 2 weeks ago, nearly 16,000 restaurants on its site were put out of business. The business review site also shows that clubs and bars are closing their doors at high rates. Meanwhile, social distancing apparently has fewer people reaching for the deodorant and more people reaching for ice cream. That's according to the consumer goods company Univer. The company says they have been a drop in demand for personal care items. Brands like Dove soap and Axe deodorant say that lockdowns have led to a decline in sales. Now, at the same time, ice cream brands such as Breyers, Ben & Jerry's, and Magnum saw their sales jump. The company says they are also seeing more people buy soups and more people using ready meal kits and mayonnaise. Coming up next, hear how youth in Chautauqua County are making out following this year's virtual 4-H animal auction. But first, Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist says he's for changing the city's school mascot and logo. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you. When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading the WNY News Now mobile app. Stay up to date on local news, weather, and sports that matter to you. Plus, subscribe to breaking news and weather alerts from the team that puts coverage first. In addition, watch news as it happens with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network. Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist says his pride in being an alumni of Jamestown High School isn't found in the Red Raider logo. It's found in the experience in the halls of the school. Sundquist discussed the possible mascot change for JHS in a recent interview with us. He explained his pride is not based on a logo or mascot or even team name, but rather in the value of the culture of the school.
The reality is Jamestown is what I'm most proudful about. I'm proud of being an alumni of Jamestown High School. I don't need to be a Red Raider in order to be a proud alumni.
Now, the mayor says that discussions about race and culture are always uncomfortable but need to take place to reach progressive, and that people's views need to grow with the times. Well, in the nation's capital, members of Congress will have a chance to pay their respects to civil rights icon John Lewis today. The body of the late congressman will lie in state at the U.S. Capitol in D.C. An invitation-only arrival ceremony starts at 1:30. Former Vice President Joe Biden and his wife Jill will be among those in attendance there. As a precaution due to the pandemic, a public viewing will take place outdoors at the top of the east front steps of the Capitol. Now, Lewis will lie in state in the Georgia state capitol come Wednesday. On Thursday, there will be services in Atlanta, followed by an interment at Southview Cemetery. Well, yesterday, the congressman crossed over the historic Edmund Pettus Bridge one final time. Daryl Forges explains the historic significance of the moment.
Congressman John Lewis said he came to Selma every year to be renewed, inspired, and reminded that there's still work to be done when it comes to justice for all. Well, Congressman John Lewis made that final pass here at the Edmund Pettus Bridge. This as thousands of people mourn his loss and say thank you. The same bridge where he and others were beaten by Alabama state troopers during a march for equal voting rights back on March 7th of 1965, a day that became known as Bloody Sunday.
They beat him with billy clubs, fracturing his skull. But John was determined to fight for equality and justice, putting his own life on the line in the service of others and a brighter future for everyone.
Months after Lewis was bloodied on the bridge, President Lyndon Johnson signed the voting rights into law.
To be here today is just an honor. It's an honor and it's a celebration of his life and his accomplishments. for not only Black America, but for America.
There's no one that could ever replace a John Lewis. He touched my life in so many ways.
In Selma, Alabama, I'm Daryl Forges.
Daryl, thank you. The congressman died at age 80 last week following a long battle with cancer. Well, back here at home this month, the 56th annual 4-H meat sale raised over $85,000 to help youth in Chautauqua County. Officials with the Cornell Cooperative Extension say the auction was held online this year after the county fair was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Over 80% of proceeds from the event was returned to youth, funding programs hosted within 4-H. There were no shows held prior to the sale. However, officials say all animals were raised on appropriate feeding plans and with the highest level of care. Instead of selling by the pound, all were by the head, meaning the animal was purchased for a dollar amount that did not depend on their exact weight. This year's top-selling hog was raised by Levi Overend and sold for over $2,000. Also noteworthy was Holly Crandall's steer, which sold for more than $5,200. Connie Covert raised the top-selling market goat, while Kendall Ekman sold the top market lamb, and Liam Griffin received top dollar for his pair of market chickens. Additionally, over $1,000 in donations were made to various 4-H animal projects and the 4-H endowment held at the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation. Certainly a great program, and no matter what is happening, it's great to see that they were able to adapt to online. And a lot of people, when they think of the county fair, they think of the yummy snacks and the rides, but really 4-H is really what that fair really boasts, and they get a lot of great kids turning out for that. We see wonderful inner city programs, but 4-H, one of the great ones for those who live out in the country, and certainly the kids learn quite a few skills as well, part of that. Good to see Nicole, Mike, Amy, Renee, Don, great to see you. Good to see Samantha, Steve, Helen, and Dave as well. Hopefully everyone is having a good day and beating the heat, because it certainly feels very muggy out there. Let's check in now with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, who's standing by with a full look at our weather. And Dakota, I'd imagine if you're not by the air conditioner today, you'll be sweating a bit.
Yes, you will. And speaking about the auction, my mother learned this the hard way. My mother grew up on a farm in the country, and all the time as a kid, they used to go to auctions. My mother used to do this when she was a kid, and my mother bought a horse for $10, and my grandfather said, "You bought it. It's your horse." $10 to my mother. Anyway, there you go. This is the July temperatures here. Now, this is likely going to be the warmest July on record, dating all the way back to 1895. You can see all the days here that are shaded in orange, and all the days that have the number on it are the days where the high temperature was 85 or above for that particular date here. So we're still running over 5 degrees above normal to where we should be for this time of the year. So here's the weather headline. Scattered showers and storms this afternoon. Again, with the near tropical humidity that we have in the air, these things are going to be popping up at random times through the afternoon. The key message here, we put it in bold text and we even underlined it. Not everyone is going to get wet this afternoon. It's going to be the luck of the draw. If you get a storm, great. It's going to cool you off, but not so much with the humidity. If you don't, well, I don't know, maybe tonight, but turning cooler and less humid as we go into the later part of the week. 80 already as a noon hour. We have a healthy southwest breeze of 15, but look at this dew point at 72 degrees. That makes it feel more like the mid 80s outside right now, and that is going to be climbing as we go through the afternoon. Once again, NOAA Storm Prediction Center has placed the far western portion of the southern tier and especially northwestern Pennsylvania under this low end marginal risk. That's a level 1 out of 5. Now earlier they did have all of the region basically under this marginal, but they trimmed it back this morning. And this is mainly going to be the chance for maybe 1 or 2 storms this afternoon. Could become strong with mainly gusty winds. And here's the impacts for you. Again, mainly strong winds and definitely tropical like rainfall here. I mean, with the near tropical humidity, if you've ever been in Florida, Alabama, Georgia, especially in the summer and you get a downpour, that's basically what it's going to be like today. No tornado threat out of this. Don't worry. The tornado threat is zero, nothing. And as we go into today, the peak heat index will probably peak around the mid 80s today, but look how it just dips right off. And by the time we go into late this week, Much cooler and refreshing air, thank goodness, and it's going to stick around for at least a little bit. Satellite and radar picture shows you just those clouds that are around. Nothing so far basically across the region, but that will be changing through this afternoon, and we actually have a front that's coming our way, and look at this mass of rain and storms back over Missouri and Kansas. So here we go with Future Scan. Again, I told you earlier how I was not being impressed with the setup today. Future Scan's not even being impressed with it either, but you can see a few of these pop-up showers and storms, and again, the radar is not going to look like this. So just keep that in mind. Just have the radar handy, especially as we go throughout the afternoon. Tonight, I think this will be our better chance for more widespread showers and thunderstorms as the front actually moves on through. You can see a better chance for widespread showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could be strong, especially early. They taper off tonight, and then tomorrow, just a chance for a few scattered showers or storms in the morning. Afternoon will be dry, and then we start to actually dry out a little bit, but we'll still keep a small chance for a shower or storm in there both Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So here we go with the zone forecast. Inland areas, likely mid to upper 80s here, but it's going to feel a lot warmer when you factor in the humidity. Chance for a pop-up shower and storm. West we go, young man. Lake Erie shoreline, maybe Erie may top 90, especially 91 there. Cooler spot right at the water, likely lower 80s there. Now, how about the future that are coming up on the screen right now? We'll go 80 tomorrow, also 80 on Wednesday. And again, Wednesday, just a small chance for a shower or storm, but it turns less humid as well. How about a pair of 7s on Thursday and also low humidity as well? That'll feel nice. Friday, we'll keep a small chance for a shower or storm in there as well, 78. And then as we go into the weekend, we're saying mainly dry as of right now, but there will be a small chance for a shower, especially Sunday. But of course, the weekend will be fine-tuned as we go throughout the week. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Straight ahead, we tell you about a local storm chaser's new book that highlights one of the area's natural wonders. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. An Ellery Center native known for capturing beautiful sunsets when not chasing down powerful storms is now a published author. Sean Sweatman, founder of Chautauqua Weather Today, recently published Chautauqua Sunsets, a book that details one of the area's best-known wonders. Sweatman says with help from his niece, he put together a collection of his favorite sights. He says his two favorite photos are of a sailboat on Chautauqua Lake and of one of the Celeron Lighthouse.
No two sunsets are alike. I mean, you can go to the same spot for 3 days and get anywhere from 3, 6, 9, as many pictures as you want, and no picture will be the same.
The United States Air Force veteran launched Chautauqua Weather Today in 2016 after becoming a certified storm spotter with the National Weather Service. Sweatman utilizes a mobile weather station to record real-time data while tracking storms in his SUV. Now, the information, in addition to live streaming video online, helps not only community members keep an eye on the sky, but professional forecasters as well. To learn more about Chautauqua Weather Today and Sweatman's book, visit their Facebook page. Certainly really great to see, and congrats to our friend Sean, who really does a lot for us here at WNY News Now, and Dakota can attest to it a lot more than I can, because but between you, Sean, and the rest of the weather team, you guys have, I think, the best storm coverage in the area, just dating back to as recently as the tornado that ran through the town of Portland, and then also through parts of not a tornado, but a tornado warning over Falkiner, Randolph, and etc. Luckily no actual storm there, but still just being able to be out and get eyes on the ground, I imagine, Dakota, that's a valuable asset.
It is, and you know, especially the problem we have is there's so many places you can put a camera up on, so many trees you can put a camera up on, so many buildings you can put a camera up on. But the one great thing we love about Sean and our partnership that we have is the fact that Sean is mobile. He can go anywhere and basically, and you know, he can give us live streaming video from no matter where he happens to be, and that is a huge, valuable tool. And the same thing we talk about during weather coverage. Sean has been trained for many years. He knows exactly what he is doing inside that storm chase vehicle. He has the equipment on board to stay safe. He has the same single site Doppler radar products we look at, especially here in the weather center. So he knows how to stay safe. He's not going to put himself in danger. He's not going to put anybody else's life in danger just to get a remarkable video of something and try to stick it up online and try to get some video. And Sean has a servant's heart because he's actually out trying to help people. He's not doing it for his own fame or glory. And you know, he doesn't make any money off this. And you know, he's doing it because he wants to help people.
And you know, you don't see that a lot. You see a lot of these weather chasers, whether they'd be in Oklahoma or in some big market where you get a lot of tornado storms, who are out there for that, chasing that $1 million video that they can sell to CNN or whatever it may be. So it's great to see Sean, and we're so valuable to have him. So if you can, pick up a copy of his book. It's really amazing. I mean, I think that he's done a great job putting it together.
I have my copy on standby, so.
Yeah. I was joking with him. I'm like, we ordered a couple of these for the newsroom, and they look amazing. And there's some really, really great pictures in here. I mean, it's just to show you. I don't want to give out too much because obviously you got to buy the book to get the goods.
And Sean and you know, Sean really is a great photographer. I mean, you know, he takes his pictures with an iPhone. And you know, and you know, you would look at these pictures and think, my God, Sean's got like a $3,000 DSLR camera. But no, he just uses his iPhone to take these pictures. And it's amazing because, you know, the camera inside of phones have gotten so much better now to where we can take, you know, those kind of quality pictures.
Right, and we take him live right here on the air. So it's amazing. Whether he's in severe weather coverage or covering beautiful sunsets in Chautauqua County, certainly we love it. So, alrighty, well, Mr. Hunter, let's get a final check of our weather forecast. I don't think Sean will probably be out tonight with the
it's going to be hard to see anything except lightning.
Yeah,
but hey,
maybe he'll get some
if
good
lightning's your
photos.
thing, there's going to be a lot of it tonight. So, especially showers and thunderstorms continue. I think this will be our better chance for the widespread activity, especially tonight when it's going to be oppressively warm and muggy. So another AC on, 65 to 73, and the breeze will diminish, but cooler air is on the way by the time we head into the weekend. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. That's going to do it for us today. Of course, we remind you when you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. All you got to do is search WNY News Now, Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Got to say hello to Shar. Good to see Renee, Tyler, Nicole, and Andrew as well. Hopefully everyone's having a good day. We'll leave you with this live look over Chautauqua Lake. Hot and muggy is the story. If you can, find some relief today. We're back tomorrow. Hope to see you then.